Games done quick to ban everyone. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. So we'll see. This was recommended. This is by Glink. So I got no idea. We'll see what this is about. Again, no idea what I'm getting myself into. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. And
Wildcard.
Interesting media starts, which is really annoying. It has never done that. That's annoying as fuck. Anyways, yeah, don't know what I'm getting myself into. Here we go.
Switch it to blue. Uno.
Oh heck. Okay. All right. Skip. Skip. Reverse. Skip. And now I play the magic card, Pot of Greed, which lets me draw 2 cards from the deck.
She didn't say Uno. She didn't say Uno. She needs to pull a card. We are not cheating here. We are not. She needs to pull a card. She needs to pull a card.
Into my hand.
What?
Games Done Quick is a biannual event held in the form of Summer Games Done Quick and Awesome Games Done Quick, which both showcase some of the best speedrunners from around the world getting together to show their stuff and beat their favorite.
Interesting, so it's just speedrunning. Okay. I've never speedrun anything, so I wouldn't know. But that's pretty cool, I guess.
Games as fast as possible, all in the name of raising money for charity. GDQ is an incredibly popular event which regularly gets well over 100,000 live viewers every time it's streamed on Twitch. It's a welcoming community for gamers of all types to participate, spectate, and even socialize with each other. But this massively popular event had humble beginnings. In a place popular to most speedrunners, the event started out in a basement. Founder Mike.
Classic. Everything starts out in a basement. That's normal though. I think Smash also started in a basement with that one, the Smash tournaments and stuff. So not surprising you heard Tommy Robinson had to flee the UK. It doesn't surprise me that anybody has to flee the UK though. That's new.
Uyama's mother's basement in 2010 to be exact. Amazingly, the latest event in January 2018 raised over $2.2 million for charity. But not everything has gone so smoothly over the years. In fact, Games Done Quick has become notorious for its many.
Well, there's also, you probably get your ass decently beat by Nintendo should you ever, what's the word? Like, do anything with their property, their games, right? I could see that happening where they got confronted with the almighty N.
Controversies and incredibly strict enforcement of its vague rules. I've spoken with some notable and even infamous attendees of GDQ over the years who will be contributing to various parts of this video by sharing their own first-hand accounts. In 2015, Mike stepped down from his position and he was replaced with Matt Merkel, aka Cool Maddie, who seems to have taken the event in a more corporate direction. 2 speedrunners in particular got on the radar of the GDQ staff that year. A user named Private Cinema.
Interesting. Also, Devil May Cry. Nice. Fun fact, the reason why it went to the basement is because during the stream at MacFest, the internet chat itself, specifically MacFest 8, interesting.
Bun for tweeting, "Some of you are alright, don't go to AGDQ tomorrow," which was perceived as a potential threat, and Cyberdemon531 for creating a subreddit called Speedrun Celebrities, which was mostly focused on well-known trans speedrunner Narcissa Wright, formerly known as Cosmo Wright. In 2016, both Cinnamon Bun and Cyberdemon, who are friends, were warned by GDQ staff that they were on a list for associating with someone named Ski-Crazed Teddy, who had issued death threats in the community, and that Private Cinnamon Bun was not to joke around too much or make any offensive comments during his speedrun that year. I interviewed Cinnamon Bun about his experience.
They were saying that, like, you know, we know you toe a line. If you guys say anything and it offends someone and they overhear it, you guys are banned. This immediately put me on red alert because I...
Hold up. What do you mean by this? Cancellation because something offensive was said? What does offensive mean? What does that entail? Oh boy, I get banned immediately from this.
had a run that year. This was AGDQ 2016. I was doing Devil May Cry. I was really nervous about my commentary or saying something that was going to like toe a line. Like even I kind of like tested the waters because it's a Devil May Cry game.
Oh yeah, I could never go there. I would never be able to go there. They kicked me out immediately if I ever became a speedrunner. That's crazy.
And you have a move called Devil Trigger. So at the start of the run, I said, by the way, Devil Trigger warning.
Right from the start, I'm going to double trigger. Trigger warning, by the way. Trigger warning, by the way.
And I got a few laughs, but like when I instantly didn't get banned, but I got a stern look, I said, okay, that's the line.
You got a stern look? That same year, another speedrunner named Bonesaw577 also got into trouble and was actually banned for a year. The reason is not clear since GDQ does not disclose the exact reasoning behind their bans, but people speculate that it was due to one of the following reasons. This comment he made about Air Canada while speedrunning.
If I screw something up, please send tweets to Air Canada. Well, Air Canada hates us. They really do. Don't do that.
We are getting confirmation from GDQ staff that you should indeed not do that.
In response to which, GDQ tweeted,
I am very confused. What is Air Canada? Now I gotta Google. What the fuck is Air Canada? That's an airline. Is it not? What's the problem here? What is so offensive about this? I don't see the issue. Huh? Oh no, I don't like where this is going. It is an airline for Canada, but what's the context? Wow, that's cringe. Oh my god.
tweeted this at Air Canada, clearly wanting to be as corporate friendly as possible, even though it seemed like Air Canada was completely oblivious to the situation. Or maybe it was due to his supposedly excessive swearing during the run.
Shut up.
I'd run away
Just
too.
shut up.
Or perhaps, and most offensive of all, Bonesaw was banned for one too many Owen Wilson jokes.
Much like Owen Wilson lives with his car keys.
Wow, these keys are great.
Wow. Jumped into the
I have a bad feeling about this event. I have a bad feeling about this event and what they do. This sounds like an event where you could get cancelled any minute for saying anything that could be remotely considered offensive.
fire. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
We've been instructed to stop talking about Owen Wilson. So.
Wow.
Wow.
AGDQ 2017 marked the last appearances for Private Cinnamon Bun and Cyber Demon, as they would once again find themselves in hot water.
Basically, Brobez brought like a backpack, and then just like took out just a bunch of props, including the siren helmet, which was put on Cinnamon Bun, who was sitting in the front.
So you were wearing a hat, Cinnamon Bun, but it wasn't the MAGA hat.
Yeah, it was not the MAGA hat.
Gotcha. Okay, so you were wearing a siren hat from Ape Escape 2, people around you wearing the MAGA hat. If it's to my understanding, they basically claim that you were...
Wow! A hat! A hat got them banned! Yeah, this event is cringe. That's really weird. That is really, really weird. That is really odd. Yeah, I could never attend such an event. I get banned before they even see me. I get blocked on Twitter. I say way more offensive shit than that by far, and I do way more quote unquote offensive shit than wearing a MAGA hat. It's over.
the MAGA hat and use that as a reason to ban you. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, they very specifically. I have a full audio recording of this thing.
So like we see them from behind the tech station, like do like motions to like pull off the hats. So everyone takes them off. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. So then the rest of the run plays out. Nothing happens. So I bring out my phone and I just start recording immediately. And then immediately upon exiting the stream room, Clage kind of shouts at us and says, get over here, like we need to talk.
Alright. We have it specifically in the rules that when you're on stream, you are not to display any political things of any nature. Okay, I wasn't wearing a hat. You were. I have a screenshot of it.
I was wearing this hat.
No, we have a screenshot of you wearing a Make America Great hat.
Except, there was no screenshot. As you saw earlier, Private Cinnamon Bun was wearing the Siren helmet, not a MAGA hat. GDQ got...
In 2020, GDQ banned a black man because of old jokes. In other words, you could also just call them GDW. Games Gone Done Woke. Anyways.
Got it wrong, even though the footage clearly shows the truth. This Kotaku article also claimed that Private Cinnamon Bun pulled out a power strip.
The Kotaku article.
Anyway, yeah, but it's Kotaku, right? It's Kotaku. It'll be gone eventually, right? Like, I'm praying daily for the downfall of Kotaku. It's not that big of a deal.
There's mention of you pulling out a power strip. Is this true?
No, not at all.
So, first, Private Cinnamon Bun made offensive jokes.
Right from the start, I'm going to double trigger. Trigger warning, by the way.
Wow.
Then, he supposedly wore a MAGA hat.
Wow.
Then, to top it all off, he was accused of pulling out a fucking power strip. The absolute fucking madman.
Wow.
None of these accusations are valid, and it seemed like GDQ had it out for Private Cinnamon Bun and Cyberdemon since 2015. After this incident, they were both banned for life from attending future events. Things really started heating up in the summer of 2000.
Yeah, I don't see that as a loss for them, honestly. Because, like, if you can't join an event without constantly needing to walk on eggshells, and you can't talk at all, at this point, just stay silent.
2017 at SGDQ, when transgender host Proto Magical Girl was featured prominently on the stream, and Twitch chat did what they do best, trying to spam what they deemed the most fitting emote, which in this case was Dan Sexy, an emote depicting popular Twitch streamer Dan's Gaming with a wig and breasts. Spamming this emote
Based. Twitch chat is based.
became synonymous with Proto appearing on the stream, and in response, GDQ removed the emote from their stream. And Twitch staff actually removed the emote from the website entirely. But beyond just that, Proto also wanted streamer Dan's Gaming banned, even though he himself didn't do anything.
Why are you transphobic? Why do you hate trans people? Now, I personally don't hate trans people, but I get why people do. It's because of shit like this. What has the dude to do with others spamming his emote?
Anything. This demand naturally caused even more backlash from viewers and posters on Livestream Fail, who viewed these as extreme measures. Fittingly, Twitch chat got the last laugh after all by replacing their use of Dan Sexy with Hot Pocket, an emote commonly associated with being triggered. Seemingly in response to that whole fiasco, GDQ decided to have their chat in sub-only mode for AGDQ 2018, meaning you'd have to be a
Always different times when Twitch chat was based.
monthly subscriber and pay $5 in order to even type in the chat. This was clearly done in an effort to heavily censor and moderate the chat room. In order to circumvent this heavy censorship, some streamers on Twitch decided to host AGDQ in order to have their own separate chat room while viewing the stream. A dedicated channel called GDQ Poverty attempted to create a chat for the GDQ stream that anyone could use without paying, but that channel was suspended by Twitch supposedly for hate speech. Popular streamer Forsen was preemptively disallowed from hosting AGDQ for the same reason. However, at the same time, some streamers like Trihex were allowed to host the GDQ stream with their own chat rooms. And GDQ's level of draconian control extends even beyond just their Twitch channel. Their Discord server is equally strict and micromanaged.
I would want to... Wait. They still do this, by the way? They still have their chat in sub only? Wow. Why are people even attending this event? It's just a bunch of mentally ill people. A bunch of sensitive, mentally ill people. Be civil. Insults. Bigotry of any kind. Racism, sexism, etc. Acting met with a warning is meant to be placed for you guys to have fun while watching the stream. And anyone who messes with, yeah, well, I can't read some of the stuff because it's like cut out. No spamming the shit. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. No excessive caps. Okay, no advertising. If you need to post a link, if a moderator tells you to stop doing something, stop. No moderator sass. Moderators. Okay, no politics. Oh, no politics. Is it no politics or only politics that I agree? Or no politics that I disagree with? Because the way I know these, right? The way I know these, especially since it's Reddit, and I don't trust Reddit. This may also just mean no politics I disagree with. Issue with donation, yeah, okay. Voice channel, it's a little positive, no shouting, excessive swearing, music. So they're just like loud noise. Is this just like they're so sensitive that they don't want anything that could remotely trigger anyone? This is horrible. Harassment issues, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Attending, okay, that's also fine. No torrents, copyright infringing streams, or any kind of shady software talk. Okay. Keep your nicknames clean. Wow, even nicknames cannot be offensive. Ha! Funny. Thankfully, we have the European Speedrunner Assembly, which is like GDQ, but it has relaxed policies on what you can joke about. This is crazy.
With an endless list of rules. EasyScape is a fellow YouTuber who I interviewed, and he actually brought up a good point regarding GDQ's rules.
I do think it's strange that GDQ allows M-rated games which have a wide variety of language and tones that would be played during the stream, while not allowing the runners to be able to talk in the same tone. But I'd much rather GDQ allow these games to be played than not, and the reasoning that GDQ...
I have a question. So, can you stream the English version of Final Fantasy VII? Right? Because the game literally says to Cloud, right? Tifa says to Cloud in Final Fantasy VII, start climbing, you retard. So I'm like, I have a feeling that they also ban certain games, honestly, not gonna lie, that are too triggering.
GDQ likes to separate the games from the runners. It does make sense to a certain degree, so I do agree with it.
Right after AGDQ 2018, Cool Maddie, the director of operations, did an AMA on Reddit, and he actually provides some interesting responses to a few pressing questions. I took this opportunity to ask Cool Maddie about the double standard of rules when it came to M-rated games. His response was that they separate games from the event in terms of representation, whereas runners, commentators, and staff all do represent them. And sure, I understand where he's coming from here, but if the M-rated games are considered edgy enough to contradict your rules in the first place, then that's indicative of a perhaps larger problem, which are the overly strict rules. I also interviewed a speedrunner named Andrew AJT, who shared some thoughts on this.
Hello, my name is Andrew AJT. I'm an old school RuneScape YouTuber who's also run Ocarina of Time in the past, and I attended AGDQ in 2016, and I've been pretty much reviewing the GDQs since they started. I would
Good night, Cricket, take care, bye-bye. God of War 2005's on GDQ's blacklist. Is it because of that one sex scene? By the way, they're remaking God of War, the trilogy. You know which scene will not be in there, just saying.
I have to say that my main issue with AGDQ in its current state is the overall strictness in the way it is run. It seems like they are overly strict about everything.
So why does GDQ harbor such a strict safe space? I theorize that there are a few reasons why. For one, GDQ is a heavily sponsored event that's raising money for charity, no less. It makes sense that they would want a more family-friendly environment just for that reason. However, many of their rulings and policies do seem a bit excessive and even limiting for both attendees and viewers of the event. Clearly, some players can't even express themselves and joke around without walking on thin ice. And the vast majority of viewers are now stuck behind a paywall in order to simply type in the chat room. Another reason these events may be so closely guarded is the disproportionate amount of transgender gamers within the community. Perhaps, as we saw with Proto Magical Girl at SGDQ.
To summarize, GDQ became gay and retarded. That's what it is. I'm sorry, but it's true. I'm gonna say it the way I see it. I'm gonna say, this sounds like the average fandom being intruded by people and their agenda, and then letting the space to rot and die. That's what it sounds like. That is literally what it is. This is like people coming in and then demand the space to change, not them to adjust to the space. That's what it looks like. I'm gonna be honest.
LGBT 2017, Games Done Quick feels the need to take extra measures to make the trans community feel safe and respected. As to why there are so many trans people within the speedrunning community, I asked Cyberdemon what she, as a trans speedrunner, thought. Why do you think there is such a high prevalence of them within that community?
Well, I don't think that there's such a high prevalence. I think it's just GDQ having poor representation of the overall community. Because keep in mind, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of speedrunners that don't attend GDQ events.
Why do you think GDQ has specifically a high representation?
It's already established itself as being like an accepting PC environment, so more people feel comfortable going there than...
You were kind of talking about Proto-Magical Girl a little bit.
When you think of the most extreme kind of like SJW trans person, that's going to be Proto-Magical Girl, but she's probably even worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could give examples. My favorite is that she thinks that any porn featuring trans people should be uncategorized.
Mm-hmm.
So that if you like, trans people in porn, you shouldn't be able to find it because that's demoralizing and fetishizing.
Do you think that because you don't fit into that mold, you were kind of that's why you weren't given special treatment as well?
Oh yeah, of course. They just don't like me as a person.
Ooh, that's interesting. She sounds interesting. Thankfully, since 2021 onwards, they have changed for the better. Interesting. Well, probably because they're not doing as well anymore. Interesting. But that could probably be, right? Essentially, what I think is happening is that GDQ has started to be run by possibly radical trans activists.
So they tried to get me out as soon as possible.
Aside from all the strict rules, another thing that dampens the mood of the event sometimes are actually the donations.
AGDQ is still fucking in like a bonus room of a motel, and they're still reading those sorry ass donation messages, bringing everyone down.
133 donates $5. Hello from Sweden. So, I've been watching GDQ for 2 years now, and today I just found out that my grandpa died 2 hours ago to 3 different types of cancer.
Why did you read that out while everyone was clapping? Why did you read that out? Oh, that's horrible. That is, oh, the horror.
Hope we beat cancer someday.
Okay, so who we've got?
Apollo Legend has been an outspoken critic on YouTube against GDQ and their policies. One such topic he's focused on is the financials behind the event and where all the money is really going. He claims that volunteers are being paid, that the charities are keeping a lot of the money for themselves, and that old Mike Uyama is sitting back and collecting checks. Apparently Mike also has mono, and actually if you go on GDQ's website it does mention that Mike is on medical leave. However, what Apollo doesn't mention in his video is that most charities have expenses and operate like this. And actually both Doctors Without Borders and the Prevent Cancer Foundation, the charities funded by SGDQ and AGDQ respectively, are both highly reputable and well-rated charities. As far as the handling of the money goes, Cool Maddie responded to this question in his AMA, claiming that all of the donation money goes directly to the charities. And all of the past attendees I consulted shared their criticisms of Apollo and his video.
As for Apollo, I think he does mean well, and he really does want the best for the speedrunning community, but he doesn't go about it in the right way. I think his personal biases skew the direction of his videos, making them less objective.
I do agree with many of his points, but one that I heavily disagree with is that the charity money and where it's going, that controversy has become way overblown, and I don't think it's actually a real controversy.
It seems like GDQ has gone to...
The problem is that I don't trust online personalities charity events. Here's the reason why. Anybody remember that boxing event that like Creative Clash was it called, right? Or am I wrong? I think something like that, right? Most of the money did not go to charity. It went to the event itself. And that's what's the problem. I think there are valid concerns about charity events in creator spaces, because lots of creators aren't transparent. It won't have funny with the charity event aspect to it. I recommend European Speedrunner Assembly and RPG Limit Break. Okay, interesting.
Extreme measures to make their audience and sponsors feel comfortable, but ironically, in their pursuit of making everyone feel comfortable in being themselves, they've actually alienated people. Many players feel like they're walking on thin ice because they fear breaking an unknown rule or being banned for life. But at least we know the money is going to the right place. Hopefully, GDQ cures cancer.
None of you guys are funny.
Well, then they should start curing their own company at this point. Their own event from the cancer. Because, like, that's crazy.
If you want to prevent cancer, consider standing out in front of the shuttle that's running in front of the hotel on the hour. Thank you.
Wow. Interesting. So, to summarize, okay? It's just a woke speedrunning event. Practically. It just is. Let's not offend anybody ever at all. Let's not say anything that could offend anybody ever at all. Well, I wouldn't be able to ever go there because I get banned immediately. I probably am banned. I'm preemptively banned. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.